cosplay interlude before Tony Daniel and Tony Guerrero come back on to talk comic book art. Joining me are Stephanie and Sean, cosplayers extraordinaire, as you can judge by Jill Valentine here and Chris Redfield. You guys are looking awesome. These costumes look great.
Thank you. Thanks.
Wow. So what? I have never cosplayed at Comic-Con before. It's hard to believe because so many people do it. But what is your favorite thing about it?
Oh man, there's a lot. I think ultimately my favorite part is commiserating when it's the two of us, since we usually cosplay as a group. Meeting a bunch of other fans of the game or whatever else we're wearing, just like, man, I gotta stop and talk to you about this one boss, and I want to take a picture of you too, and that's it. Commiserating and just being among like-minded people.
It's the fan reaction.
Yeah.
Especially with Resident Evil, there's a huge following of people of all ages, like, oh, Resident Evil, like that's my game. That's what I love.
Absolutely.
And then like I also dress up as a stormtrooper, and especially the reaction you get from little kids. That's
just
the most
like
exciting.
Eyes wide.
Definitely. It's that golden moment where those kids are like, holy crap, what am I looking at right now?
They're the best. Like I walked by one kid today who was posing next to some guys from Adventure Time. His eyes are huge, and he couldn't have been more than like 6, looking up at his mom, going, "Mom, I am so freaking out right now," and I died. And that's it. That's why.
Mom, I'm so freaking out right now. Have you had any people ask you to punch boulders?
Punch boulders, no.
I get people asking me if I want a Jill sandwich a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
A lot.
The master of unlocking.
Like a lot. Yeah. The master of unlocking. Well, let's talk about the actual costumes for a second here, because like how long does it take you to assemble it? Like what? Talk a little bit about the creation process.
Okay. Well, with a recreation, it really depends. Like this is probably an exception, since a lot were assembled pieces from Armory Surplus or wherever you can get gear like BDU pants. But for me, I did actually make a few of these pieces. The shirt I sewed, just because I was surprised at how hard it was to find like a powder blue shirt. I'm like, I'm gonna make it. Why not?
All right. I can make this happen.
This is my pride and joy.
Shoulder pads?
Yeah, my pillows, portable pillows. I'm the shoulder you cry on when you can't handle the zombie pressure anymore. They're basically, for me, when I look at something, a render from a video game, and I try to imagine how the heck am I supposed to make this exist in real life, it takes, I do a lot of sketching. I'll do some prototypes, I'll cut out some fabric and figure it out from there. I mean, these are essentially pillowcases, stuff with, I think quilt batting, sewn together. I was up until like 2 a.m., went to sleep for a couple hours, woke up and like rolled back into my chair and started sewing at it again.
Grueling.
Worth it.
Worth it?
They've held together for a while, except for these little fraying things, but I mean, that's more specific to this costume, which ultimately was pretty easy, since these were really the only 2 parts that I had to sew or make by hand. The rest was just assembly.
Cool.
I mean, mine was kind of lazy. What's nice about Resident Evil is it's modern day, so you can find a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The pants. I mean, Chris wears a plain white T-shirt in the first game, so it's really easy. The hardest part was just it was naturally growing. I had another vest that was good enough.
Yeah.
But it's the constantly researching, trying to find that special item.
So this isn't just like, I got my Chris Redfield going, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's like, this could be better. I can pull it off with this, but I'd really like that
Exactly.
part.
You're always changing it and everything. It's fine-tuning it this way, or, oh man, it's an awesome like pouch I want to wear on my belt. So every year there's something different that you're adding onto the costume.
I notice you have like a serious amount of tags on your knife there. And you guys have guns in your holsters. What's the process for like weapon management here, so that they see people coming in with guns and swords of all different types?
Yeah, it's interesting, because I started coming to Comic-Con several years ago, and weapons checks wasn't even heard of.
Oh, really?
And now what they've done in years past is they have off-duty or retired law enforcement that will sit there, and you walk up to a table and you just lay everything out you have on the table, and they'll tag and say, oh, you're good. But it's ridiculous, because when you first get here, especially with a knife and a gun, people start like, oh, you need to go there right now.
Yeah.
And they start getting a little weary of you.
Yeah, I bet.
So
is that a fun scene for you to enact? You're like, all right, I got my knife here. Like, pull out the gun, he's slamming it down.
Don't even care.
Well, the best part is the reaction of these law enforcement officers, because sometimes they'll come in and it's like, it's a super soaker that's painted, no problem. But then you lay down stuff that they look at it for a second like, that's fake, right? That's fake. Like, yeah, it's fake. Like, that's
like,
pretty
I can tell
cool.
by the fact that it has no trigger that you are no threat to us.
Yeah.
There's no barrel or anything like that.
In fact, it's all rubber, so you're probably good.
Yeah.
Thanks, kid. Have a good day. It's like a 12-year-old who's just wide-eyed thinking he's in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, before we wrap up, Sean, you mentioned you also do Stormtrooper. What else is in you guys' repertoire, cosplay-wise?
Oh, man.
Is this a long list?
No, it's not that long. It's not that long. We do Star Wars together. Like, Sean has the Stormtrooper. I've done a Twi'lek for the past few years. Not doing it this year. Feel bad about it, but it's the aliens with the head tails. And
Sure.
paint.
That seems like it would get warm. Like,
It
you got short sleeves on. These seem like more comfortable of
yeah.
You know.
I don't hate my life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
So this is feeling pretty good.
Yep.
But let's see, we've done Persona 3, kind of an obscure reference. If anyone, it's not that obscure. If you haven't played Persona 3, please play it. Great game. I've done some Final Fantasy. I'm working on some stuff right now. The fortunate thing for me is I got into cosplay when I was in college, so studies came first, cosplay came second, so my production time took a lot longer.
So just finished the steampunk airship engineer, so I'll be wearing that this weekend.
Oh, cool.
So I got the big old heavy goggles and wrenches everywhere, and it's my first steampunk costume, so that should be interesting.
Have you guys gone by the GameSpot camera rotunda to get your pic?
Heard about it.
You should go check it out. I did it in like this outfit last night.
Yeah.
It's gonna be way cooler when you guys do it.
Yeah.
Everyone's cool when they're taking it.
And yeah, you could win like a little 3D printed model of yourself.
I think
We'll
I know
see.
what we have to do.
Yeah, I think we got to head over there now.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on stage, Stephanie and Sean. It was a pleasure to talk cosplay with you guys.
Awesome.
Folks, we're going to be back on stage with Tony Guerrero and Tony Daniels talking comics in just a second. But first, it's Homer Ibarra with a look at Blizzard Entertainment right on the show floor here at San Diego Comic-Con.